Welcome to the annual Purple event. This year's theme is Just Be You. I'm Robin Lee Miller, your live stream virtual host for the evening, and for the next 45 minutes, we'll spend a beautiful night together raising awareness and funds for much needed domestic violence resources. As you can see behind me, there are several silent auction items in which you can participate in bidding in as well, just by following the link in our comments below. Stay tuned for our guest speakers, and now we'll bring it over to our in-person MC, Kevin Hogan, Bureau Chief of WFSB Channel 3 New London. And as always, thank you for supporting the network.
We'd like to know. Keep track of these things. At this point, I'd like to introduce Jennifer C. Jarvis, Director of Around Town 2, Connecticut Chapter from Around Town Singers.
Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good? Awesome. Well, once again, I am Jennifer Jarvis. I am the Director of the Around Town 2. They are the Suffolk, Connecticut chapter. And we are actually down in North Carolina. Our founding director is Dan Kehoe, and he's in Clayton, North Carolina. So I wanted to represent my Around Town singers and just myself for being here. And I appreciate everybody's gratitude, and thank you so much for inviting me, especially Brielle. And Lucy, I really do thank you. So I will be singing Just Be You, and it's by the Anthem Lights. I'm not sure if anybody has heard that song before. I actually have never heard the song before, but I will be singing it for you, and I hope you really do enjoy. So if you would like to record, that's perfectly fine with me. You can actually find me on YouTube. So if you want to come see me, ask me some questions, please feel free to do so. Thank you. No one can do it just like you. Something magic in the way you move. You're original, you know it's true. Don't let anybody take your tune. You don't have a single thing to prove. You're original to just be you. Just be you. You're one of a kind of a once in a lifetime, not just another face in the crowd. You light up a room with the light that's inside you. Don't be afraid to let it out. So hold your head up, don't let anybody get you down. No one can do it just like you. Something magic in the way you to prove, you know it don't be true. Just be you, you. Just be you, you. Just be you. Gotta believe you're here for a reason. This world needs somebody like you. 'Cause anybody can be a copy, and there will be no people talking. So face your fears and chase your dreams and dance like no one's watching. I want you to clap. No one can do just like you. Something like in the way you move. You know it's true. Don't let anybody take your tune. You ain't got a single thing to prove. You ain't to be, it's just you. Just be you, you. Just be you, you. Just be you. One of a kind once in a lifetime, not just another face in the crowd. I want everybody to stand up and clap. It's a laugh, come on. No one can do it just like you. Something magic in the way you move. You're original, you know it's true. Don't let anybody take your tune. You ain't got a single thing to prove. You're original to just be you.
Maureen Sample, president of the network and co-chair of this evening's event.
Good evening, everyone. If you could just mute your phones now that the bidding is over, it would be appreciated so that we could hear everybody that's speaking, okay? Somebody's phone's going off, and I'm not sure whose that is, but it sounds like a fire alarm. That's what it sounds like. All right, good evening and welcome. I'm Maureen Sample, one of the co-chairs of tonight's event. My partner in crime, Eileen Hargraves, is not with us tonight because she is away on a family vacation, which because of COVID had been changed to tonight and she couldn't change it. I'd like to thank all of those present tonight as well as those participating virtually for your continued support of the network. We're thrilled to be holding what was until 2020 one of the network's annual major fundraisers. Due to COVID restrictions this past year, the Purple event was postponed and rescheduled until tonight. As a committee, we were unsure about how to handle it, and we had the option of doing April, and then realized April wasn't going to work, so we booked tonight. And I want to thank our administrator, Lucy Lawson, who I don't think is in this office right now. Lucy is our office administrator, and she is the primary person who undertook this whole endeavor. She investigated the company that we're working with, the company that is filming us tonight. She did all the training. She developed the programming for us tonight. She set up the bidding. She's done an enormous amount of work, and I wish she was out here, but she's not, is she? No. Okay, so when you go inside to check out, you can thank Lucy. She's done an incredible amount of work. The network was first established in 1985, just to get some of you that are new to the network some support, some information rather, and has been supporting our catchment area, which includes Enfield, Summers, and Stafford Springs for over 36 years. That all people have a right to live in a safe and non-threatening environment. The network believes that it provides most important services free of charge to those in need. Along with operating Julie's Safe House and our 24-hour crisis hotline, the staff at the network facilitates ongoing support groups, provide court victim advocacy, and provides educational programs within the local schools in our catchment area, specifically on bullying, self-esteem building, and healthy relationships. Many of our staff members are here tonight, and if you're in this tent, could you please stand so that we could give you a round of applause? Some of them are outside, but thank you to our staff. In February of 2020, the network board of directors hired a new director as our former director, Kathy Barron, retired. Karen Foley O'Connor became our director under extremely difficult and trying circumstances, which we're all very familiar with. It's called COVID-19. She had to learn the intricacies of overseeing a domestic violence agency and at the same time implement all CCD and CCADV COVID guidelines to ensure the safety of the staff, clients, and their families at Julie's Safe House and at the network offices. She's done an outstanding job and has worked. The agency ran smoothly. Some of what she and the agency staff did while under COVID restrictions in a few minutes. The board is very grateful to have hired such a capable, committed, and dedicated director. But before Karen comes up, I'd like to thank some of our sponsors and supporters. Once again, Kevin Hogan, over to my right, from Channel 3 is with us to MC. Kevin has been with us for a number of years and always does a fantastic job, and we appreciate you giving up your time, Kevin, to be with us. Leslie and his team from Joe's Fine Wine and Spirits, back in the tent back there, have been providing us fabulous wines and beers for our tasting each year. They never turn us down, and we truly appreciate their support. Thank you to Manili's for providing us with a beautiful venue, great food, and luscious desserts, as always. I'd also like to thank Rob Swede, who's over here somewhere. I'm not sure where he is. Rob, wait, raise your hand over there. His business, his store, Swedes, does our champagne raffle and has been doing it for many years again. If you haven't visited or purchased your champagne glass, please do so before we do their drawing. And Rob will announce that shortly. Finally, I want to thank Pair Extraordinaire for providing this evening's entertainment. I think they're out. Are they in here somewhere? I'm not sure where they are. They were providing music for us and have been doing it again for many, many years. And I'd like to thank them for committing to us every year. We never have to question them. And also, I'd like to thank Jennifer Jarvis, who was just up here singing the song for us. Thank you, Jen, for donating your time. People's Bank and Smith Brothers Insurance have continued to support the Purple event as Purple Ribbon sponsors. We welcome MetLife Group as a new Purple Ribbon sponsor. I'd also like to recognize additional major sponsors, Todd and Deb Gish, Cross Country Mortgage, Commercial Store Front Services, Pickle Jar Deli, Brown Memorial Funeral Chapels, Fallon Law Office, Melania Hazick, Liberty Mutual, M&T Bank, North Central News, and Westfield Bank. Sorry. In addition to these sponsors, we are very fortunate as an agency to have received additional sponsorships from many other local businesses and individuals and donations for both our silent and called auctions. And you can look in your program tonight and you will see all they have contributed to our event tonight. Before I close, I'd like to take this time to recognize the Purple Event Committee. We've been working on this for months. It's not something that you put together overnight, and as you can imagine with COVID, it's been very trying and difficult. Please stand as I call your name. Lucy's not here, she's out in the other room, but Karen Foley O'Connor, our director, Patty Patton, Yogini Magmadar, Riel Brown Walsh, Christine Roby, Donna Jones Searle, Janine Newman, and Islena Kuzlina. In addition to co-chairing this event, as was said by Kevin earlier, I'm also the president and was made president of the board of directors in January. I have a fabulous board of directors. Thank you. It's truly an honor to be the president of this organization. It's a really superior organization to be part of. And I have a fabulous board who continuously support the agency and me. So I'd like to call your names if you're here. Donna Jones Searle, Eileen Hargraves, Janine Newman, Yogini Mahmudar, Jamie Tower, Kathy Temple, Patty Patton, Jamie McSada, Steve Mersick, Mary Tiraletto, Jeff Beeler, Iselina Gilleen, and Iris DeLauro. As your program indicates, our theme this year is Just Be You. Probably one of the most important goals of the agency is to encourage their clients to take their power back, live uniquely, and be the person they were meant to be. As the song says, you're original, you know it's true, don't let anybody take your tune, you ain't got a single thing to prove, you're original, so just be you. I'd like to thank all of you for your generosity and support of the network tonight and in the future, and we look forward to seeing you at next year's Purple event. And now, before we continue, we have some sponsored videos that we'd like to show you.
When life catches you off guard, you need simple ways to stay calm.
It's a boy.
When life takes you in new directions, you need simple ways to open doors. When life slows you down, you need simple ways to keep things humming. When life gets real, you need a bank that keeps things real simple. At People's Bank, we keep banking simple because real life is complicated enough. People's Bank. Real simple banking.
Hey everyone, it's Jared Carrillo from Smith Brothers. I wanted to say a quick thank you to the network for all the work that you guys do on behalf of your community and the people that you serve. We have been a proud sponsor as a Purple Ribbon sponsor for years, and we're grateful to be able to call ourselves partners, supporters, and advocates of the great services that you provide to those that are in need. So on behalf of everybody at Smith Brothers, my partners, our team members, and the communities we serve, we deeply appreciate the work that you do to make the world a better place. Thanks for helping others, and have a great day.
The Ment Law Group is excited to partner with the network in sponsoring the upcoming great event. When Karen asked me to get involved in this, unhesitatingly, I said yes. But once I went back to look more into what the network does, I became more inspired and excited to help. Taking a look at the annual 2020 report showed me firsthand exactly the services and benefits that you provide to people in need in the community. So, after 30 years of representing people in court matters around Connecticut, it was a simple decision that the Ment Law Group would gladly sponsor this event with the network. Professionally, I'm in the business of helping people. And personally, my wife Mary is an obstetrician and gynecologist who has taken care of women in some of their darkest times over her medical career. Both Mary and I greatly understand the need for services that the network provides to people. Just looking through what the network did in one calendar year speaks volumes of what you can do to help people at their worst moments. So we are glad to be here. We will be here with you again. We hope you have a great event, and thank you for including us in your event.
All our sponsors, supporters, we couldn't do what we do without you. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our director, Karen Foley O'Connor.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight. I can't express enough gratitude for all the support that each and every one of you bring here. So I did start taking over the agency in February of 2020, about 2 weeks before the pandemic hit. For those of you who don't know, I retired as Connecticut State Trooper after 25 years. And to be honest with you, I was okay with the pandemic. I can deal with that. It was the human resources, budgeting, things that I was unfamiliar with that became a really big challenge. But the staff, myself, we hit it head on. My number one priority was to make sure that the place was safe for staff, families, clients, and that we continued giving our services and doing our job. So Maureen kind of went over what we do. We provide free services to victims of domestic abuse and survivors that want to move on and live abuse-free lives in the towns of Stafford, Somers, Enfield, East Windsor, Windsor Locks, and Suffield. Our goal was to keep giving those services. So the pandemic created some unique issues, and I really felt like I wanted to talk about those with you because it's been a transformative year for the agency, and it really demonstrates the versatility of the staff that I have that just keeps going and going, okay? So first and foremost, if you guys were paying attention to the media that was happening both nationally and statewide, domestic abuse was up during the quarantine period with high anxieties of people being stuck at home. It was up not only statewide, but nationally. The other scary thing is that the level of force that we were seeing in domestic cases was also up, okay? So
we were still able to serve almost 4,000 individuals in the year 2020. It's actually less than we normally have because the reality is that people are afraid to come to us and ask for help during the pandemic. So we really, really pushed to try to get our awareness out there, which was difficult with the pandemic. In that, talking about the pandemic being up, if you think about court advocacy, the advocates at the court, what they saw was closed courts, virtual advocacy. Some courts were open, some they had to travel, but the reality of it was is that we had high anxiety and stress from victims because cases were continued way longer than they normally would. There would be 2 to 3 month continuances for a domestic violence case. This caused anxiety for our clients and anxiety for the advocates, but they pushed through and they continued to provide that advocacy. But I also want to talk about the shelter. So the shelter, we have a 15-bed facility that houses families and individuals up to 15. And what happened was is we were told that we had to cut that in half. So what that meant for the network was more than $70,000 in hoteling bills, which we never stopped helping our clients. If we had people that need to be safe, we put them into a hotel and we provided advocacy either on site or virtually and made sure that they were safe. So more than $70,000 more than previous years were added because of the pandemic. So we also have this program called Rapid Rehousing, in which advocates work with the Department of Housing, and it's not an easy process. There are many steps. We, in the pandemic, rehouse, so if someone comes out of shelter, meaning they're going to help to get a new home, we rehoused 12 families in the year 2020. This is actually exceptional, and I'm very proud of it because we're a smaller agency of the member agencies. We did better than most of the other member agencies. We housed 12 families. And that's to be attributed to the amazing work of the advocates that work very hard on this. So once someone is rehoused in the community, or someone that is in the community hasn't left their abuser, we have a community adult family advocate. That advocate is more busy than anyone, because most of our clients, sadly, are not in shelter and are not safe, and are actually living at home with their abusers. It's pretty scary. So that advocate works with those clients, and that advocacy turned remote. She also ran group support counseling. That ended. Everything became remote. This advocate stayed on it, worked with as many people as she could remote, and we continued working. Interestingly enough, I think the pandemic brought some good things about. So we learned in the midst of the quarantine that we had a family that was rehoused, that was living with, it was a mom and a child. They were sleeping on an air mattress, and they didn't have a kitchen table. They ate food on the floor. That we had just rehoused, and we were going back in to check. And we all got together and said, what can we do? Because Bob's Furniture's closed, they can't afford Amazon. So we were like, you know what? Everyone's cleaning their houses out right now during the pandemic. So some beautiful minds, like of this amazing staff, said, let's get social media, let's get involved. And we started with just wish lists of a certain family that needed something. And it has grown into a whole program that is a funded program called Home Safe Home Initiative, which involves asking for gently used items specific to families that we just house, that they need furniture, household goods, whatever it may be. And it's now a full-blown program thanks to the pandemic, because that's what drives it. I'm very proud of that it was the beautiful minds coming together, putting together circumstances and making it work. So one of the really important things, one of the most important things I think we do as an agency is our youth and our community. How can we reach out to the underserved? How can we talk to the youth about healthy relationships? So we have an advocate that's dedicated solely to going to the schools, talking to children about healthy relationships, coaching boys into men, all of these programs, all of that was suspended. She was doing basically whatever she could do to get the message out. This amazing advocate came to me and said, you know what, I think I want to start a podcast. I want to reach people. And she did. and it's called Reaching Out with the Network. You guys can get on Spotify or Anchor or wherever you get your free podcasts. We're up over 30 episodes, and we're always looking for more content. This content reaches kids, every facet of domestic violence advocacy that we could have, and I'm really proud of that. Thank you, Anne, for doing that. So moving forward, guess what? We're almost there. I feel like this is an amazing event. I feel like we're coming together. Maybe things are coming back to normal. Let's talk about what the network's going to do in 2021 and 2022. The board of directors, myself, and staff, we came up with a strategic plan. A couple of things that we're very concerned about, and especially with the national conversation that's happening right now, the underserved. Who's not calling the police? Who's not calling our hotline? Who's not accessing our services? So we've developed a strategy where we're reaching out to faith-based communities, hairdressers, daycare workers, and telling them about, and that's just to name a few, telling them about what we do and how we can help you. And we want to get those people that aren't calling us and are afraid maybe to access services or call law enforcement to call us. We're here to help. And we're moving forward in 2021. We're ready to go. So I just want to say thank you so much to, first and foremost, the staff. And I just want to add, our shelter staff that worked through this diminished capacity, they were considered essential workforce by the state of Connecticut. They never stopped coming to work. They were basically like your nurses and healthcare providers. They came to work every day in a shelter environment where you never know what you were going to get. So I'm very proud of them and proud of the bravery that they had through an extremely stressful time. And I'm thankful for the versatility of the amazing staff to come up with some of the things I talked to you about tonight. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing and their ideas and their creativity and their commitment to allow victims of domestic abuse to try to move on to self-sustainable, abuse-free lives, right? So, in addition, I want to thank, I came on board in a really crazy time. I want to thank my tremendously supportive board of directors. I mean, literally, you guys have given me every benefit of the doubt and trust, and I'm really grateful. But most importantly, I want to thank every single one of you. You are all here supporting a mission. You're standing next to us. You're helping us do what we need to do. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Thank you. So I'm gonna just do a little bit more. I want to introduce you guys to someone that's very special tonight, and it's going to be our survivor that's going to talk to you about their situation and how they came out of where they are. Okay. The survivor that I'm going to introduce tonight is Sarah Muska. I just want to say that, and Sarah, come on up, get ready. I just want to say that over the summer during the pandemic, I was invited by Senator Anwar to participate in a Facebook Live, and this Facebook Live was about PTSD, and interestingly enough, like he invited me to be on about domestic violence, but he was looking at law enforcement, veterans, and domestic violence victims, which is amazing that they're finally starting to understand that long-term trauma from domestic violence victims results in PTSD. Trauma presents in so many ways. So I met Sarah, and Sarah's going to talk to you, but I just need to say she's just an incredible voice. She's an incredible voice on the podcast. She's an incredible voice in East Windsor, but she's actually an incredible voice across the state of Connecticut. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you guys Sarah Muska.
Good evening. I'm so honored to be here tonight to support such a great cause, and I'd really like to thank the network for this wonderful opportunity to tell my story this evening. You may look at me and see a confident, outgoing, and well put together young woman. I'm proud to say that I am today, but I wasn't always. In fact, 6 years ago, I was at the lowest point in my life, contemplating what my purpose was. I fell in what I thought was love at 19. The person had flaws, but doesn't everybody? I thought for sure I could change them, help them with their problems, make them stronger, when in reality, they changed me, created problems for me, and made me weak. I can remember the first time he hit me. We were driving home from his work Christmas party, and he was upset that I was talking to one of his coworkers. He was screaming at the top of his lungs, and I just kept saying to myself, I need to get out of this car. But when we arrived home, he put his hands around my neck, repeatedly smashing my head into the cement basement floor. Excuse me. And he punched me once in the eye. That was the first time we had physical contact. He had a way of making me feel guilty. I thought, well, if I just hadn't spoken to that coworker, I'd be fine. Jealousy. There were many physical altercations over our 10-year relationship, but the emotional abuse pained me the most. I was never thin enough, never smart enough, and never good enough. I was belittled, degraded, and constantly put down. After hearing it enough, you really start to believe it. He molded me into exactly what he wanted me to be, someone with no voice, no confidence, and someone who only did things for him and never herself. Control. To try to avoid conflict, I stopped seeing my friends and family. I no longer had hobbies, and I was someone that I didn't recognize. Isolation. You may think, why didn't she just leave? And the answer is, it just isn't that simple. I still continue to think that he would stop. I thought that I could forgive him for all of the pain that he caused, and I was brainwashed to think that I somehow contributed to being treated this way. The best thing that I ever did in my life was garnish the courage to call off our wedding 3 months before the date. I honestly feel that if I didn't, I wouldn't be here to tell this story tonight. It unfortunately couldn't be that simple though. One dark night, while letting my dog outside, he was there at the back door, proceeded to push his way in, and he vandalized my home. An arrest took place and a protective order was issued. I am forever thankful to law enforcement for responding that night. Although painful, that was the best night of my life because I was put in touch with an advocate from the Network Against Domestic Abuse. I finally had a non-judgmental third party who only cared about my well-being and my safety. And thanks to her, I had the courage to not take him back and try to rebuild my life. It wasn't a smooth road for the next few years. The protective order was broken several times, and I struggled daily with paranoia, fear, feeling safe, guilt, and learning that it was okay to be me, that I could laugh, smile, and care for others, and I could trust again. I was diagnosed with complex PTSD in March of 2017. I went through extensive therapy and EMDR therapy. I learned how to live again. I truly believe that being in touch with an advocate truly changed my life and gave me the courage to seek the help that I needed. Don't get me wrong, there is still work to do. We need to support law enforcement, stay in contact with our legislators to push for bills that protect victims, and continue to raise awareness to let people seeking help know that there is a place to turn. There are many layers of domestic violence, and although you might be out of the abusive relationship, there are things that stick with you for years, but there is hope. I have made it a goal of mine to advocate for those who may be where I once was. I have been honored and proud to participate in many amazing resources provided by the network, such as Annalise's podcast and host donation drives. So I urge you to please support the network so they can continue to provide services to those in need and continue to change lives like they did mine. If you said 3 years ago I'd be where I am now, I wouldn't have believed you. That once hurt, numb, weak girl is now a loving, bubbly, and strong woman. That once quiet and timid girl now is the loudest voice in the room and does not back down and always stands up for what she believes in. And I hope that I can be an inspiration to many to just be you. Thanks so much for having me tonight.
congratulations. And everyone here, it's stories that, like Sarah's, that you're here to help, to raise money, to have more stories, help, provide help for other people. Thank you. So I have a new addition to the Journey basket this year. It's called Soy Valiente, Emergency Response Tote. Journey baskets are what the network provides to clients as they are leaving the safe house to begin the next step in their life's journey. Each basket is individually prepared with necessities such as paper towels, laundry detergent, bath towels, sheets, etc. Items for children are also included, diapers, wipes, toys, etc. For a donation of $100, you can support a basket for network clients, the Emergency Response Tote. A Soy Valiente, I Am Brave Emergency Response Tote is given to victims of physical abuse or sexual assault and is filled with emergency items such as a change of clothes, a warm blanket, bottle of water, hair tie, etc. For a $50 donation, you can provide one of these totes for an emergency response. And it's just not folks who are here, also folks watching at home. You can participate too. It's a great way to support the network. Everyone here and at home, pick up your cell phone, go to your phones, and go to one step at a time so everybody can give to and support the network. That's why we're here. We want to raise that meter, raise it up. It's been that way for 2 hours. We want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to participate and give tonight. That's the reason we're all here and watching from home. Is that right? Now, for those who have been bidding on auctions throughout the night, please press the Donate Now button on the home screen, and you'll see a listing of donation levels. You can also choose the other button to donate any amount of money. And if you prefer to pay by check, we'll take a check. There are donation envelopes at every table. Now, look at the menu on the upper left-hand corner, and just press that and go to it. If you have not created an account yet, you can still join by texting Purple Event to 243725. That's Purple Event 243725, and once you arrive at the home screen, click the Donate Now button. Look, it didn't move. Congratulations, it works. All right, I'd like to invite Karen back up before we continue.
Thank you. So, what a crazy year it's been, right? We had the Purple event canceled in 2020. We rescheduled it in 2021. In the committee discussions, we were like, you know what, let's do something special, because if there's one thing this year has taught us, is that we have so many amazing community partners. I can personally speak to the fact that watching people walk in day after day, sometimes bringing something as small as a pack of diapers and something as big as a big crate of whatever we ask for on our wish list, we have nonstop community partnership. So we discussed, you know what, let's try to recognize someone that's because it's really about partnerships, right? It's not just about walking in and giving a donation, although we appreciate that. It's about creating a relationship with the network. So we decided that we would create a new award, brand new to 2021, the Network Community Partnership Award. And in some discussions, we decided that our first year's award would go towards a lieutenant who works for the town of Stafford Police Department. And I just want to point out that the first selectman of the town of Stafford is here, Mary Mitta, with her entire board of selectmen, which means is so demonstrative of the fact that this man that we're about to honor is so highly respected in his town and his community. So the person that we would like to give this award to tonight, which is our first Network Community Partnership Award, is going to Lieutenant Thomas Duncan from the Stafford Police Department. I just want to First and foremost, he was my boss 20 years ago when I was resident trooper in the town of Stafford, literally 20 years ago. This supervisor, leader, has always been, as a law enforcement officer, 100% victim focused. He always is concerned about the victim, what can we do for the victim, and then later, I'm now leading the network, and I've learned and saw that he has created prevention initiatives in town, awareness initiatives in town. He tracks DV trends in his towns. And it's not uncommon for him to pick up his phone and text me and say, hey Karen, I am really worried about this particular person and this is why, and can you help us? Can you somehow get involved? Like, so personal, guys. It's not even like about big numbers. It's about individual people that he's concerned about their personal safety. It's been amazing, and I love that this relationship continues, and it was with such great honor and privilege that the network announces their first Community Partnership Award to Lieutenant Thomas Duncan from the town of Stafford.
Mary Miller, you want to come up and take a picture? Thank you, everyone.
Such a pleasure for you to join us on our virtual stream. We're just wrapping up the evening's events. We had a wonderful evening with cocktails and a lovely carving station, prizes, and of course a big thank you to our host tonight, Kevin Hogan. We're just seeing the crowd disperse here, and why don't we go poke around and see how everybody enjoyed their evenings. Come along with me for one moment. May I interrupt you guys for one moment? We just wanted to know what you guys thought of tonight's event.
It was great.
It was actually really great. It was our first time at this event, and we just truly loved it and heard the stories.
It was great, just to hear the stories and everything, and we're definitely going to come back next year.
Definitely. It was a great.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you so much.
And how about you?
Hi. I thought it was awesome. I love supporting this event. It's so worthwhile. And it just warms my heart to see everyone come together and do such a fabulous job.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, let's go pop around and say goodnight to some other people. Let's see, where are we going? All right, follow me. Let's see. Should we go into the crowd or way into here? Who can we grab on our way out? Let's go over here for a moment. Would you ladies mind if I interrupted you for a moment? What did you think of tonight's event?
I thought it was fabulous. I love the event. The venue has been perfect. The weather's perfect. It's been great.
It was definitely a lovely evening.
It was perfect. Just perfect, yes. And I just have to tell you, since you're interrupting us, not rudely, I might add, from Enfield Street School in Enfield, yes, Michaela.
Well, hello, Michaela. Thank you for coming to tonight's event.
Thank you.
It's very nice that you were here as well.
Yeah,
Is this your first time attending?
It is my first time attending, and I'm just so grateful to be here, and just very inspiring, and something that I hope to get involved with in the future.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much.
you.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank
Travel
you.
safe. Thanks for coming to the Purple event this year. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we will just no rush. Brown Memorial Funeral Chapels, Commercial Storefront Services, Fallon Law Offices, Melania, Liberty Mutual, M&T Bank, North Central News, and Westfield Bank. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Let's go interview a gentleman. One moment. Sure. My name is Robin, and I'm the virtual stream host tonight. Did you enjoy your night?
Lovely night.
Very nice.
Yes.
I don't know how well my mic is picking up.
Very nice.
Very
Nice
nice.
evening.
I'm just going to get right up in your face. But we very much appreciate you coming out tonight.
We
Pleasure to
enjoyed
be
it
here.
very much.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again next year. Hope you won some good silent auction prizes.
Definitely.
I see somebody is walking away with the
sandbox.
with the sandbox. There's a grandkid that needed that somewhere. Thanks, guys. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Be well. All right. Anybody else that we could? Oh, how about our ladies of the evening? I don't know if we want to bother them too much. They are busy cashing people out on their silent auction. Well, I guess we'll wrap up here. Everybody at home, thank you so much for joining us tonight for the Purple event. This year's theme was Just Be You. What an evening to come together. My name is Robin Lee Miller, your host for the evening. Be well. Take care.